as well, and he should also bless us. Aya Visvodayan Stithidole Niyadiprataya Jnanaprataya Vibhuda Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Madiprabhudan Vadan Narasya Kritavan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarveswaro Hariridi Pratipatakam Tam Anandatirtha Munivariham Namami पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे अत उपनिषदः ईशावास्य उपनिषदः शान्तिपाठः. Before that we will say the Sahanavavatu also. Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sagaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskaram. We all had an excellent week, with the Raghavendra Swami's Aradhana having come to an end yesterday. I think we will have to remember Raghavendra Swami because we are referring to his Kantartha for the Isavasya Upanishad along with that of Jayatirtha and Vadiraja, Prakashika of Vadiraja. And in fact, Raghavendra Swami's Kantartha is so precise and concise, and people who are not so much initiated into the Madhva literature, he gives us a very, very great guidance to get to know the tattva to some extent, the Isavasya Upanishad tattva. We have to be very grateful to him. As the sloka goes, Ajnana Nashaya Vijnana Purnaya Sadgyana Dautre Namaste Guru Sri Raghavendra Sri Raghavendra Sri Raghavendra Pahimam. So with that sloka and with invoking his blessings, which is Kantartha, we continue with the session. We have seen up to mantra 11. We have seen mantra 9, 10 and 11 where we discussed a great length as to avidya and vidya. But avidya and vidya both are essential to be understood for the purpose of imbibing the knowledge of imbibing the Swarupa Jnana of Paramatma that enables us. And this has been very much emphasized. See, because one of the commentators who are not accustomed to our scriptures, when they see why this sadhaka jnana is 9 to 14. So 9 to 14 it says how you will have to do upasana, how you will have to imbibe, how you will have to reject the wrong knowledge. Because it is not only to know the right knowledge, because you will have to reject the wrong knowledge only. In fact, we also, because unconsciously, we are doing that. Whenever we go to if any of our new knowledge when we are acquiring, slowly we must have had some wrong knowledge. So now wrong knowledge is that artha is anartha. That anartha we are removing, slowly we get into the knowledge. It goes off. It is unconsciously that is happening. But this being knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of superior God, for whom you are going to do the upasana to realize, and that Swarupa Jnana you want to do that rejection of that knowledge is essential. But while doing the rejection of knowledge, we have seen from 9 to 11, you need the knowledge of avidya also to know, which is to be rejected. At the same time, avidya is essential. Through your senses only you acquire the knowledge in the world. Finally, then you adopt it, take to your inward journey to realize the Almighty. This is what, because finally it is happening. That's what our Acharya has said, Narayana Manamayam. Narayana Manamayam, to have that, first we will have to, because we have got the 24, the external senses, the Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, and through that, we acquire this and take it, our buddhi process it, and our manas and buddhi process, finally it gives to the chitta. When it gives to the chitta, it enables you to have the repository of all the knowledge to enable you to proceed in your inward journey. More you are able to open our inward eyes, then you are able to get into dispel the darkness, and you are able to get into a state where you are slowly desireless karma without any bandhana comes about. That is why kurvanyeve karmani, when we said kurvanyeve karmani jijivijay tadam samaha evam tum nonyato asti na karma lipyate nare. When na karma lipyate nare, that bandhana doesn't come to us when we do with the proper upasana and knowledge. And when you are doing with the sense of duty, because your only purpose is to do your obligation, whatever karma it has been assigned to you. When you do it, there is no bandhana comes, irrespective of the outcome of it. Good or bad, everything, finally comes as per the desire, and you don't get into any of the bandhanas because your total focus is on complying with the duty. Everyday life is a duty. Morning onwards, when we live, when we get up and when we do it, even we look after our sarira, you have to do that, because when you do that only you are able to get your all these senses enabled to receive proper one and proper knowledge from the outside world. Then it is able to process and do it. And you also have to have the strength. So you have to look after your body. It is like a temple, residence of your internal controller who is there. This is how we have seen mantra number 12, 13 and 14. If you really see, they are following the same pattern of mantra 9, 10 and 11. If you see the mantra, how it comes, you will not find any difference. It is same way they are repeating it and all. Only two words get replaced. Instead of vidya and avidya, sambhuti and asambhuti, two things get replaced. The sambhuti and asambhuti has been interpreted by different acharyas differently. In this only, how to define sambhuti and asambhuti has been a great sort of the effort for every acharya to interpret and make it self-sustaining meaning for these three sadhanas. In the three sadhanas, we have seen avidya and vidya. We have also seen both are essential, because avidya also, because it enables you to live in this world and get the knowledge and process it. And the vidya finally enables you to take the knowledge to a very high level, desirelessness, as well as to do your duty, and you can still live in this world. And you can have a sort of a jivan mukti, because with this, you will be able to live without any problem. And in fact, you will be spreading the entire positivity everywhere. And you will also be able to live, you can live with anyone. You can live in the group of youngsters. You can live with, even if you go abroad, or even if you go to isolated place also, you will be living comfortably without any fear. Fearlessness is the most important thing, in the finally scriptures have to bring in. When you live your life, every time, whether you recognize or not, there is some sort of a lingering fear, lingering some sort of instability that takes away the person from performing his duties to the fullest possible extent. When you are always in a dilemma, whether I could do this or whether it is, once you are convinced, you don't have anything to do, you have got all the positive vibrations, you are going to do it only as a duty, nothing takes away from them. That is what it is. But the mantra 12, when it comes, they now want to understand the concept of the primordial power. And when you are doing it, there also you have to reject some sort of a false knowledge that may come in between. If I recite mantra 12, it will appear exactly as mantra 9, but for the two words sambhuti and asambhuti. Andam tama pravishanti ye asambhutim upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo yavu sambhutyam rataha. In mantra number 6 we saw andam tama pravishanti ye avidyam upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo yavu vidyayam rataha. This is what we have seen. Here it is only sambhuti. I think now we will go for the padacheta, because that is necessary for us to get into the details of it. Andam. Andam is darkness, relentless darkness. Tamaha. Tamaha is darkness. Andam is relentless, blinding darkness. Pravishanti. Pravishanti, pravesha, it enters into, it obtains to those who asambhutim. Asambhutim has been taken as a matter. Asambhuti has got 2-3 interpretations. See, we can remember, we have referred once each word in Sanskritam and scripture particularly, minimum three meanings. It could be more also. In fact, it has been established by Srimad Acharya, Trayo Artaha. He said each word has got three meanings. That is why in some of the debates, when Acharya was arguing, there is in Madhva Vijaya it has been recorded, he was arguing with a particular interpretation of the word. When someone else was, who was trying to sort of, the counter argue or put his points, when they said it also is this meaning, Acharya said, yes, this is also the meaning. But when you are taking the meaning, you will have to take the context of that particular sloka or the particular word, and then you will have to do the pramana for that word. Because like Brahma Sutra, why Brahma Sutra is required if Vedas are telling everything and all? But in Brahma Sutra says, there are a lot of Mahavakyas in the Veda. To understand the Veda, to interpret the Veda, it is like a constitution. It says, you have to interpret this way and you will have to take this word in this particular context only. Then you are able to get the full meaning of Veda. That is why the full light of the Veda, if you want to understand, the Brahma Sutra becomes a guidance. And Brahma Sutra, based on Brahma Sutra, they call Samanviyat, when we have to have the pramanas to bring about the support of interpretation of the word. Once you have done both, finally then you are able to give a bhashya. That is how Srimad Madhvacharya, when he has said, for everything he has brought the pramana, every stage. In fact, his works, if you want to get into, we need a guru to understand at least 6 to 7 years. Sit with him and go through every sloka, every word and understand that. And that is the type of it. Here, coming to this particular case, Asambhuti normally it takes to those who have no independent existence. Anything which doesn't have an independent existence is Asambhuti. See, Advaita, what they have taken it is a matter. The matter, the matter doesn't have an independent existence. The Prakriti as well as the matter, they don't have independent existence. They have taken it as a matter. So for the exact interpretation based on the pramanas and all, Srimad Acharya and Jaitirtha, and when they have come, they said it is, once you say Asambhutim, you think he is not a creator. The primordial power is not a creator. That is Asambhutim in the sense, he is nothing having independent entity. When we have said Swatantra, Vidya, Advitiya Brahmavada, when we say, Asambhutim says he is not independent. So that goes against the concept. Therefore, those who have a upasana with Asambhutim, that is, he is not a creator, they will go to a darkness. Certainly it is a darkness. Still you have not understood. For Advaita, they say, you are only going into the matter. Matter is nothing but the world is made of the matter. When you are getting across to the world, you are dealing with the matter and material part of it. You acquire only that knowledge of it. So when you take that knowledge, certainly that knowledge is essential, but then you will have to process, internalize and go for your higher realization. So for higher realization, for that only they have got a separate concept of Hiranyagarbha, who is also created by the supreme power. He also has got the death. The Hiranyagarbha also doesn't exist. He also has to go off when the pralaya, everything is there, when the supreme power wants, as per Advaita. For us, there is no such concept. He is a Swatantra. So one Asambhutim, when you do a upasana as if he is not a creator, that is a darkness. That is our interpretation. In fact, that interpretation has been very well established by Jaitirtha based on the pramana as well as the grammatical rule for interpretation of the words based on Panini. So by these things he has brought it to such, because this is the right and rigorous interpretation, it cannot be detested by anyone. That is how it has come about. And when we go to mantra number 14, I will just give a subtle difference, how Jaitirtha has, how he has rejected this Advaita Vata in a very subtle and a very, very, very diplomatic, highly educated, sort of the level at which he is telling is impossible for us to attain. He has said that we will see that. This Asambhutim, for the limited purpose he has ascended, for our purpose is not a creator. Otherwise, for a general understanding, you can take a matter, as if interpreted by the Advaita. Otherwise, the one who doesn't have any independent existence, that is it. Having this is Asambhutim, is having failed to grasp Vishnu as the creator. That is what, because if someone does it, his upasana is meaningless because he has not realized it yet. He goes into darkness. Upasate, when he worships, meditates and all. See, here one thing which we'll have to understand, when we do upasana and all, very often, since we are part of this world, we get into, let us say, there is one transit of Guru is there, or transit of Sani is there, 7.5 years, we have got all those concepts and all. So what we do in those times, we try to do the upasana for that particular graha, demigods, you can say, grahas or anything else, like that. And even otherwise, you will have, there is one particular deity is there, you go and pray, he will create it and all. We have to repeatedly remember, even from Veda interpretation based on Brahma Sutra and all, etymologically, everything that is referred to in Veda, whether it is Indra, Vayu, Agni, Varuna, everything etymologically refers to the Supreme Swatantra Vishnu only. So that is the final interpretation that has been established through the series of pramanas and the Brahma Sutra interpretation taken into account. We have also established, and other acharyas also have established finally the supreme power. Whatever way, nirguna, sadguna, whatever you want to realize, it is like that. So that is very, very important. In that context, that is coming to very handy for us to understanding this. And upasate, worship, meditate upon, as if he is not a creator, or as if he is a matter, or as if he is not an independent entity, whatever you call it. Tataha, and then bhuyaha, greater. Bhuyaha, that bhuyaha, greater, giva, undoubtedly, without any doubt as it were, they, those who, tamaha, darkness, who enter into further darkness, sambhutyam rataha. Sambhutyam is, see, asambhuti is independent entity is not there. Sambhutyam, again it has got a limited concept. It is people try to understand only as a creator. And Advaitin calls it origin. Origin is from where we take, because they say Prakriti, from Prakriti, Hiranyagarbha is there. Hiranyagarbha is the origin, from there this entire mankind has come, or sentience, insentience, everything has come and all. Whereas Sambhutyam, he is, you only understand as a creator. If you limit the word and understand, that is, takes you to further darkness. That means you don't understand him as the other qualities of his Samhara Karta. He is sustaining you, he is liberating you, because you should know, you should understand him in that full concept. You can ask why this thing has been, is it required? Why? Because we understand, we know, we have taken him as he is the Srishtikarta, he is the Samharakarta. We know that already, we have established and all. Because from the Upanishad point of view, because people do have given into different type of thoughts like Sadguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, even Sadguna Brahma also, because when you come to, your upasana goes towards, like if you are, someone says you are going through 7.5, you will have to go to Sani Upasana only. You will do Sani Upasana because you think, because you believe in astrology. And then astrology, of course, it is a science. But the science also, it only tells to the extent the powers of these grahas. All these powers of the graha can be done away with only doing the upasana to the ultimate power. None of the demigods do have that power. And in fact, in Gita, repeatedly has said in every place, the demigods and saints or sages, anyone, no one will understand me, no one has any power. If at all little, they are getting it from me only. Like nothing but, you do Vishnu Sahasranama, because Vishnu Sahasranama, once you recite it, all your 72,000 nodes get energized, nothing will affect you. You only have that belief and do it. But if you try to do, because how I have to, because some small trouble you are getting it, someone says, gives you a fear index to you, look, you are undergoing 7.5, this is the second cycle, first cycle, whatever they will say. And then we all get into it. It's a human nature. After all, some incidents, which might have happened also, which we might have felt it is a very, very big obstruction, how to ward it through and how to get it through. All those things, we are realizing. Because irrespective of that, you just take, this corona. What Graha could have brought it? It is our own creation. The corona has come all over the world. It has not left any corner of the world. It has come, it is because the niyama what God has created, when you have not done as per the niyama, you have not, the sthita, when you have not dealt with that, it happens. Otherwise, He is the final power. You don't have to, in effect, what they say is, don't get into all these subsidiary upasanas, forgetting, that you forget as if, he is not even a creator that you take you to darkness, but once you say you only as a creator, that takes you still further darkness, in the sense, because he is the one independent who is controlling you. Why it is being said is, for everything finally you have to get his grace. See why, because today, well, after all finally, we Ramanama Japam, I think, the day before yesterday when it was done, the whole country has done, people around all over the world has done. The power of Ramanama is so great. It has happened now, because finally, you have been got some way to do it, and you have got the grace of the God to do it now. We can't say why it has not happened, 10 years earlier, 10 years later, why it should not happen at all. It's not that. It is God's grace has come now. So use the God's grace when it has come. So when it has come, you try to, because now we are getting into the Isavasya Upanishad. We could have done about 10 years before or 20 years before. We didn't have the God's grace. Once we have the God's grace, we get into all those things. And perhaps, we also, the time, is the one, which management of time is something of a challenge for every one of us. Whatever we maybe, however, maybe we may be disciplined. We do have our own compulsions, we go about it. So now we have come to that stage. Now we are able to, with the limited way, go about it. This takes you further into that. Once you follow the journey, it takes you further in understanding that. That is why repeatedly, and not only in this, and Chandogya Upanishad also, 5 or 6 completely, the slokas, mantras, they say how to remove the wrong knowledge. See, this comes about, basically it comes about even when you get the knowledge from the Guru with the practice under his guidance. And this is all the more important, because whenever we get some concept and it gets registered in our mind, we will be continuing with that concept for a long time, because it takes a lot of time to remove that. So in order to do it in time, even during the course of the Upanishad, they have brought this sadhana so that you understand. See, you always think, he is the power, who has got everything in his hand. So you don't have to go into any other upasanas, any other demigods, to have parihara. The parihara, all those things you do it, only for your sin. That is, drishti will be there. The adrishti, will not be there. Internally, you will not be getting to the journey. So therefore, this is, you have to have steadfastness in believing in your upasana. You are doing, as Krishnan sir was telling, because Mr. Venkatachalya was telling, I am doing 1000 Gayatri every day, I am reciting Vishnu Sahasranama. I think that is more than enough. And that is great ability. And also you take care into account. And here I will just try to bring one particular, some small aspect. When we do upasana also, when we are able to do a regulated upasana. So you do Gayatris 1000, 2000, whatever it is there. See, Gayatri has got 24 aksharas. So 24 aksharas, assuming, we saw that our Ida, Pingala and Sushmana Nadi has got 72,000 nodes. So your ability to take and internalize, because of this body and the senses, you should maximum do only 3,000 Gayatri a day. 3,000 into 24 is 72,000. So you should not do more than 3,000. Now suppose if you are doing to do Narayana Ashtakshara Japa, you should not do more than 9,000. See, in the sense, your concentration, your ability, your absorption, everything will be optimum at that stage. That is why you will find some people, who get into a sort of, without guidance, they get into sort of things. You will find them, little different, because they may not be deranged, because psychologically they will be doing something, which they themselves, will not be doing it and all. So that is why maximum you do it. But for us, even to do 1000 is a great thing. 3000 if you could do, nothing like that. Because if someone takes a sort of a vairagya, I will do that. These are all the regulation they said, you follow it, because you have got 24 hours. And you have got other upasana, you have to do Sandhyavadana, you have to do karma, Deva Puja is there, karma is there. When you do is these are all the things optimum, maximum you can do. And depending upon your ability, you do it. If you have something else gives you are going to recite Dvadash Stotra, you are going to do Harivayu Stuti, do it. All those things, because finally gets into the name of Narayana only. Finally, when you do it, once you regulated way, you will be full-fledged. You will be always, you will not find any time, you are some sort of, listless and all that feeling will not be there. You will be fully sort of the right spirit all through the day. And that takes you, because even if you sleep, you'll have to do it in the very, very right. Because when you sleep, it should be a complete sleep. It is not a disturbed sleep. That happens, when you have a regulated upasana. This entire 9 to 14 is to give us a regulated upasana and get the proper way to realize the supreme power. This asambhuti mandala is because this will come in our regular life. Sometime or other we will encounter this. And because we have gone through and still we have got some more years to face quite a bit of things. When it comes, this will help you. You always steadfastly do your upasana without any break, and don't get into any other sort of diversion in doing some other demigod. Do, because see, there is a Navagraha Stotra is there, Vadiraja has created, and we also do you pray that, you say it. Finally, it all goes to the Almighty's hands only. He will give the grace to out of that. This is that is exactly what we say. Those who believe that Upasana, who believe that he is not a creator, go to darkness. Those who believe he is only the creator, without having other aspects, they go to further darkness. This is our sort of the interpretation of Dvaita, based on because our interpretation of these words and sadhanas. The others, what they did, because those who worship the matter into darkness, because you get into materialism, material world. Once you get into material world, the thing is, it is like a magnet. It takes you into, and it never allows your inward journey. That is why, because very often you will see Advaita, this one, they will say renunciation and desireless, because they are always, because they are talking about Nirguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma, how, because for you to say Nirguna itself is against this, because none of the entire 18 mantras of Isavasya Upanishad, Gaya Upanishad, doesn't give even an iota of denotation to Nirguna Brahma. Everywhere they have talked about the Brahma who has to be a Sadguna Brahma, because whatever the form you assume, whatever it is, he is a Sadguna Brahma, he is a Guna Paripurna. He can't be Nirguna Brahma. That is why the Mithyavada they say. For this particular thing, Acharya is saying, Anyata Jnanena Anartha Sadhanam. See, if we try to have these words, Anartha Sadhanam, once Anartha comes into our Upasana and our mind, to remove it, it needs a great effort, because it just gets into, with you being aware, the remnant gets into it. So even when you go, you will only be seeing from that point of view. To remove that, only the rejection and the understanding of the correct knowledge of that he is a creator, is destroyer, samharakarta, as well as liberator, sustainer, everything has to be taken into account. And the same Rayur Kantartha beautifully has given, very, very simply has given, Mithya Jnana Mana Artha Hetu, that is Asambhuti. Tattva Jnana Meve Mukti Hetu, that is Sambhavat. He says, because once you do have the correct understanding, it is being warned of. Asambhuti means Jagat Srishti Kartaram Na. You take that. Sambhutim Bhagavan Srishti Karta Na Samhara Karta. Because this is how the words can be interpreted if you do simple, straight away, so without any logical, dialectical understanding and getting into the pramanas. This is how you will understand. They said, take away both, and that finally gives you to moksha hetu. And one of the things why all of these things is being emphasized is, next sloka we go, and where we will see the efficacy of the guru and all. Anything, when we understand such a concept, we have to have guru. The guru may be having his guru may be someone else. Finally, the understanding will come through them. Like Madhvacharya, he got it from Vedavyasa. from Acharya, our gurus have got, finally we got it from our gurus and our local Acharyas, our Kula Guru, whoever is they given us. So that is very essential. There is one particular instance in Chandogya Upanishad. In Chandogya Upanishad, were six Brahmanas. So they were they were sort of doing their upasanas independently, everyone, all six Brahmanas. They were trying to do a very hard understanding, trying to understand to the core, they were not leaving anything to chance. They were also, I think, trying to understand their own way. They had some understanding from their gurus, afterwards, independently, they were doing. Then one Ashwapati, one Raja, he was doing a yajna. So when he was doing yajna, he was busy with the yajna. Yajamana, because like yesterday, you must have seen Ramajanma movie, Shranyasa, that puja. The Prime Minister was Yajamana, because he is the one finally does on behalf of the entire the Hindus or world. It is a Lokachema. He does it in behalf of the world. So he has got a lot of responsibility. And Yajamana is highly regarded in our Veda for any yajna when you do it. So he is very busy, and he may not be a qualified Brahmana. Let us understand that. He need not be a qualified Brahmana, Yajamana, who has got the capacity to organize and bring about all the samitus, because to collect the samitu, there is a sort of samhita. You will have to, for every yajna, what are all the type of samhita, you need the samagri, you will have to collect that. There is one particular thing is in that. While collecting the samagri, you will have to recite particular slokas, so that they are free of any of the evil. By collecting it, you don't cause any harm to any other prani, any other sentient, insentient. You don't have to do that. There's quite a bit of process is there. Having brought that, finally you will have to arrange, first you will have to invoke all the samitis, then you will have to arrange, first you will have to invoke the gods. Once you do that, there is a particular, we have seen, in the first three lectures when we did, and for doing this yajna, because basically it is in Yajurveda, and all samhitas come about. How to do each yajna, what are all the mantras to be recited, how it has to be pronounced, everything is being dictated. So those pandits, they come and do all those things. So this Raja was fully busy in organizing all these things. He was in Yajnashala, going here and there. These six Brahmanas, they came and waited. He thought, these Brahmanas, they come here for, in Yajna, danas are given, vastras and cows and all other, the material things are given. These Brahmanas have come for this only, he thought. So they were waiting. And this Brahmana, when they came and waited in Yajnashala, this king asked, why are you waiting? And please, I think you'll have to wait for some more time. You have your food and other things. Once the yajna is through, we will give all this dana and all. We'll have to give, because our dharma will give. And the six Brahmanas said, we will not come for that. We don't want any alms. He was wondering what six Brahmanas, they have come to Yajnashala, but they say, they don't want anything at all. And they said, what is that? Because it's my dharma, I will have to give to all the Brahmanas. That's why, I thought so many Brahmanas have come. You also participate. And it is your duty, as Brahmanas' duty to get the alms. Like Unchavrati, we say, because you will have to get it in the yajna, you will have to give the pala to the Yajamana and the country. Because when the king does, it is for the benefit of the country, Lokachema. So why don't you wait for that? These people said, we will wait, because he was busy. He said, I will come within, because I will complete certain work and come. So they waited there. When he came back, and he was surprised to see why you have not gone and sat with other Brahmins. No, we don't want any alms and all. We are all doing upasana in our own way. Each one is doing on a particular upasana, a particular god. Another one is doing another way of upasana and all. And vidya type, because some are doing, this has been Devi upasana. Someone has said, no, I am doing the upasana for this particular aspect only. And none of them are longing for any of the benefits to themselves. They are real Brahmanas, they are doing it. And we are in search of a guru. We want you to be our guru. He said, look, I am a Kshatriya. By the order of the karma, I am on the lower order. You want me to be a guru? This Ashwapati, he asked him. how can I be a guru? Even if you want, I can't be a guru. I don't have that particular. They insisted, no, we want you to be a guru, because we have to have, because we are having lot of the confusion in our mind. We want to have it clear. So then he said, okay, if that is the case, let me do. How can I solve the problem? So when they said, they are doing, someone is doing, this god is going to give this, and this demigod is going to give this type of thing. These grahas are going to give the benefit to this, and we are doing upasana. And still, we are totally always confused, worst confounded. We are not able to do anything. Then the Ashwapati called them and said, now I am able to understand your problem. If you do like this, all your heads will burst into something or other. Don't do that. And he called all of your upasana, you do integral upasana. Finally, the integral upasana has to go to primordial power. Though I am not eligible to be your guru, I am a Kshatriya. Since you have come to me and you asked for me this in yajna, I have to give. So therefore, I am giving you, you do that. And then he told them, why are you going only this aspect? You see the other aspect, like Ashambhuti and Sambhuti. Like you should know Sambhuti and Ashambhuti. You say, who should know, who are all doesn't have the independent existence, who have the Swatantra. You have to have both. Then only, because you will be able to get into the whole sort of the primordial powers realization. Not only that, unless you have your confusion cleared, how you will be able to do upasana with your own confusion? See, in our day-to-day life also, this may happen, because, when we do something, we go and someone takes us to some Mahan. He says, I think every day you do this for your very good health of the entire family. You do that okay, you can incorporate the mantra into that, but you can't take it as only a upasana. So if you go on varying, that is how people get disenchanted, because okay, this religion is good, not good, that religion is good. You are not able to understand yourself. You don't need any religion. So unless you are able to understand internally and get into the journey, then you are able to understand the potential of yours will come about. For that you need the grace of the God. Why do we do upasana? It's not only to realize. He gives us the grace, He gives us the energy, He gives us the ability to do. Because why some people only create why Vivekananda only could come and create such a big organization? Why? Because there are so many hospitals because some people are doing a great service like Narayana Hridayalaya there. We know that because like Aravind Eye Hospital in Chennai, LV Prasad here and all, because there have been some. They all have realized, they might not have been doing the upasana like us, but they have got the grace, because of their several bus karma, several bus chitta, chetna, they have got this and they have done this. That gives the ability to do whatever is good to us as well as to good in the society. So this is exactly how the Asambhuti and Sambhuti will have to be taken. And very often because while explaining that because the recourse is taken, the demigods they don't have anything you should not get into, you should only go. If you ask a ISKCON person, he will say only Krishna is the final. Certainly it's a primordial power, you take it as Krishna, Narayana, whatever it is, what is Maheshwara. Even for us Maheshwara is finally transformed into Narayana only. He also get his power only from in Vadar Shostra. There is one particular Shostra, I think that we will discuss later. Brahma is the because his father, Vishnu is the father of Brahma, and he is a grandfather of Shiva. They're like that. They have brought about the Taratamya there and all, because they are all deriving the power, and they have got a duty to perform. It's not that because they all have grace. It's not that servant or master, this one and all. They all get there. It is the system. This Swatantra Avidya, Swatantra Advitiya Brahmavada, from there, they get the power. They have got the things to do. They do it. Once you understand that, you will not have any, because for us there is no harm even going to the Shiva temple and worship. The Shivastuti, what we have got, the Narayana Panditacharya Shivastuti is a wonderful one. You recite that, it takes away, even it is being recited in some of the Shiva temples, and it's so good. Finally, you take everything into Narayana. Finally, Narayana Manamai. Finally, when he said, everything has to look like Narayana. Shiva has to look like Narayana. Vingeshwara has to look like Narayana. That is why in the puja, when we say, the Upasana, Nishusita Ganapate, whom Nishusita Ganapate is Ava, Kavir Kavinam, you come in a Kavim Pratam Kavinam, Narde Totkriyate, Kinchanare, Mahavam Argam, Chitra Marcha. Because you come and you have your puja. When we say Kavimana, because it is the Narayana finally, it refers to. But Vigneshwara is the one, because it creates without anything, you are able to focus on that supreme power. So therefore, this is the concept in which we'll have to take it. In fact, one of the codes of, the Purusha Suktam also, Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yechabhavyam. Purusham Evedagam. The Vedas finally has brought the concept, because Veda itself is from the seedlings of Om. From the Om they have brought the concept of Purusha, and the Purusha what has been described in the Veda, that Purusha Evedaham Sarvam. He is the Sarvatra. He doesn't have anything to be afflicted upon. He has got every power in the world. That's Purusham. Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yechabhavyam. He was time immemorial, he was there. He was before Yugas, Kalpas, he was there. He will continue to be there. He has been there. And he creates everyone. All the other, because that we have seen in the sloka number 7. Yata Tatyatu. He has created everything. He has created all the gods and their responsibilities. He has created the sun, moon, everything. He has created it. And because when the power has been created, even in sloka number 4, when we say Anejadekam Manaso Javiyo, when he is faster than anything else, how can he be Nirguna? When you are telling someone who is faster than your mana, when you say something he is here, Taddure Tadvantike, Tadanantasya Sarvasya, Tadiyu Sarvasya Sa Bhagyataha. He is even beyond this world, and he is in all of us as a controller. When he is there, he cannot just be Nirguna. He has to be Shadguna. The Sadguna Brahma, that is the Vada, because finally it comes about. But whatever way we understand, this grace with which we understand, in order to remove any sort of a misunderstanding in this course, up to 8 they have described how the Lord has to be taken, how it has to be realized, the primordial power. In 8 we have seen in very detail, how it has to be done. He is a Chukram, Akayam, Avarnam, Asnaviram, Shuddham, Apapaviddam. He is such a, because they have given all qualities, and we also say, to our understanding, they say he doesn't have Deha like us. He doesn't have sinews like us. He said he doesn't have, he is Kavir Manishi. Kavir Manishi he is Kavir Kavinam, he is Kovidas Kovida. His knowledge is supreme, because no one else can, because if you want to call knowledge, let us say even as a component of knowledge, unless it is existing, someone else can't get it. If someone has to get, there is a knowledge. And the knowledge has to come from somewhere. Who is that power? That is the supreme power. Assuming, because you have got all the cells, brain cells, all the neurons are working. And in the Tao of Physics it says, because they are trying to organize themselves and all. And your memory is dependent upon the ability of the neurons accumulate and put in your hypothalamus, where it is. Like Shakuntala Devi, if you see her and the way she was producing results, she's not a mathematician like Ramanujan or the others, but she was able to feel and bring it straight away. There are a lot of people even West, because that power, what power you would call it? It is not a knowledge, it's an intuition. See, the intuition is the highest power of knowledge. We may get intellect. Intellect doesn't take you anywhere. It is finally the intuition which takes. That intuition, what we call chitta, and finally get into chetna, there only Ananda Swarupa, in a Swarupa Jnana, when we finally get it, as Srimad Acharya has said, that chitta has to get all the repositories, and finally it has to get into transformation into chetna. That is how, because in fact in the Tao of Physics, the gentleman in the great physics professor, legend, he says, the scientists, we have given all the hypotheses based on all our intellect and whatever possibilities. Hypotheses are not to be necessarily proved. It is hypothesis. When it is proved, it becomes a sort of a theorem, and it becomes a sort of a code, and then it gets into guidance for further research into it. But till such time the hypothesis being assumed to be correct, till such time it is not disproved. But it can be disproved at any point of time. No hypothesis can be there for a long time. He said, The problem with us is we have put all hypotheses based on our only intellect. Once you have gone into your intuition, then you would have understood what it is. In fact, Einstein, I think I don't know, and there is one movie, it is a wonderful movie. The Einstein's mind, it is talking about how his mind has worked and all. It is a sort of movie, it is a sort of a cinematographic description of it. Basically, he has everything in his mind. He can't put in the paper immediately. He gets, because the speed of light and the mass, whatever it is that he gets it, and every time he tried to understand it. When he was able to relate with the theories of Isaac Newton, because before Einstein, Isaac Newton was his theories were the proponent and primordial, and I think that was being considered to be the only one based on which the research has to be done. He had to disprove the entire thought. It is there only we will have to understand. It was avidya. When Einstein has proved, whatever Isaac Newton has propounded has become avidya. And it is not because of it. It enables you to understand. So you need avidya. Unless you discussed and studied Newton's ideas and Newton's theorem and all, you will not be able to proceed and understand how Einstein has brought about and made a sort of phenomenal, the epoch, the life-changing theorem into that. So we need anything. But when we call avidya, we can't simply call it ignorance. That is the purpose behind it. Everything has a stepping stone. Like Isaac Newton, and before that Ptolemy has got that. Ptolemy to Isaac Newton to Einstein. We have gone about it. It's a state. We have gone about slowly and some of the extraordinary qualities like Shakuntala Devi and that, she has not propounded any theorem or anything like that, but she is able to give. She was able to beat the UNIVAC computer 35 years before. She could beat the fastest computer and all. That shows the ability of brain. The ability, our internal ability. See, we are not realizing that. The thing is, we do have the ability. All of us have been given the potential by the God. It is our upasana, our approach, how we are able to imbibe into our all our DNA and get into and thought process that propels us into that. Certainly, some of our own students may be very brilliant. Maybe they are not able to come to the open. They may not be. There is no proper guidance for them to be brought in. They may be there. It is not impossible. It certainly will be there. But what happens is, because when such a power is there, even when each one of us, that's what Vivekananda said. You can be a Vivekananda, provided because you focus on your upasana, you focus on your sort of the way of doing the things. They brought the Neo Vedanta, what they wanted to give it is called, the Mithyavada, he replaced it Brahmavada. Mithyavada, you don't go on saying, the word is illusion and all. People are there, people are suffering, and you can't ask people to go renounce and go in the forest and self-destruct themselves. This is the exact word he has used. He has used in his London lecture on Isavasya Upanishad, this is the very words he has used. On one hand, because you will have to do the karma with the devotion and duty, you do it. On the other hand, you don't have to do it. And then he said, you do your service to the world you are living in. You try to bring about, it's not only to the human beings, all beings. If you have to save some animals, you do it. I know one particular, I was surprised, I think, because in life we come across some of the people who are so great, which we might not have thought. We think, within our limited circle, this is great, that is great and all. I saw one lady, she's from a well-to-do family. She has got a lot of things and all. Perhaps, doesn't have anything to bequeath. She has created one sort of, in the Mumbai Zoo for the treatment of birds with antibiotics and surgery for it. Because she has seen a lot of birds are suffering, because with the modern gadgets, electric fires, everything, and even they don't have the natural food and all. She has taken it. It is a great service. We never think of it. Because after all, unless you think, I was having a pet, it had a problem, then we go there. It's not necessary. Even otherwise, if you take a worldwide, that is why once you are emperor of your thoughts, you've got so many options. You grow into, because you can be illumined like a Vivekananda. You can also get theorems like any other great physicist once you get into your intuition to be sparked upon. To trigger your intuition with whatever power you have with upasana and focus, because very often the conditionalities prevents us. To remove the conditionalities, you will have to focus. Because when you eat, when you do something, because all these great people, when they eat, when they walk, they think of that. That is why in our Veda they said manana. They said manana is very important. Shravana, manana, upasana. Shravana, manana, upasanam, the three component only get. When you do puja, you yourself will realize, because you are doing Dwada Sutra, then you try to understand few meanings of it. And when you do the Naivedyam, you recite that. You see the mental bliss what you get it. With that, you say anything good thing to any person, he will get it. Because you are at such a pristine, pure state. So for us, to be in the pristine, pure state, all through is the bliss. That is the sort of realization of the God we can. Mantra 12, in fact, it takes us towards that. In that process, they are also giving the etymologically and because the religious rituals are part of our upasana. Don't take him only as he's not a creator. Don't take because then you will be getting into all sorts of demigods or other upasanas, which will not take you anywhere. And then you don't consider him only as a creator, because he has got the other great qualities also. He is a Sarvaguna Sampurna, Nirdosha Vivarjita, because he doesn't have anything at all. And he gives the power and all. And when you say, that is why knowledge or anything what we get, finally why we need a guru is, Guru corrects us in every stage. Because we are brought about in a family, we have the conditionalities of a family, we get it. In a Gurukula, when people go, the Guru gives the particular sort of import of it. In fact, we saw in Valmiki Ramayana, finally, Vishwamitra brings the Rama and all the three brothers, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrugna, for Gurukula enough to protect the yaga and all. To the consternation of Dasharatha. Dasharatha is not able to sort of part with them and all. So when he brought in the Sarayu river, because first day when they have been brought there before crossing the Sarayu river, they were all, we saw that. They were all asked to take their bed, and finally before they get up, he says, Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Prabhatati Uttishta Narsatula Kartavyam Devamanika. So at that time, when he was able to see, because Rama is so self-sustained bliss, he was not able to take his eye off. And if you see the another meaning in the Vyakyanakatta, Kaushalya is not only the Kaushalya, but the Kaushalam. Kaushalam, anything, when your internal, the mind, the intuition is Kaushalam, you always get the right and blissful thoughts only. Once it comes, Kaushalya, Supraja, Rama, it is for everyone, they say. Supraja, get up. Arise, awake. What Vivekananda said is nothing but Supraja. Supraja, Rama, Purva Sandhya, Prabhatade. It is to put you into action. It has got another meaning. But the same thing has been taken into Venkatesha Suprapadam and very rightly taken, because it can be adopted anywhere. In our daily life, nothing in the morning you get up and recite this, you yourself will become a Supraja, because at least you will be effulged. You will be sort of inaction, you will not have any inaction in you. Because now you will have to get up and go about the job. That's what we will do it, and that is one of the important aspects. This is how everything, whatever you do, you take it as a means to enable you to get into the highest potency. Once you get into the highest potency, nothing can stop you from having a blissful life, and certainly knowledge will automatically come to you. You open up your intuition. So this is exactly the port of it. We will go to mantra number 12, 13 and 14. And before I conclude, I will just tell you, because I will elaborate little on that. This entire Vedas have been, the commentary has been written by one Sayanacharya. The two, I think, after, only in this, after 7-8 centuries before it was done. Afterwards, the Vedas have been exposed to the West by one Deussen, he is a French person. Surprisingly, we all will be surprised to know, he got the clue of Upanishad, nothing from the Dara Sikha, that Aurangzeb's brother. Aurangzeb, he is a tyrant and all those things we know. His brother is totally opposite. Maybe, he was a Hindu or he was a Rishi in earlier, he has transcribed the Vedas, part of the Vedas and Upanishad in Urdu or Arabic language, yes. That was the first exposure to the West, Deussen. Before Max Muller, it is Deussen who brought it. From Deussen, they saw, and Max Muller got bewildered. Such a wonderful thing is there. He came and he did that. And finally, when Max Muller, when he was going through Isavasya Upanishads in particular, he didn't have any idea of Dvaita or Madhvacharya's Bhashya and all. And there he has commented 9 to 14 is the difficult part of the Upanishad to understand, and to understand that you have got so much of contradictions. The contradictions have continuously been used to refine your, rivet your knowledge. Finally, you get into the mode of intuition. This is what our acharyas have said, and this is what, when we pray to Raghavendra Swami also, Ajnana Nashaya Vijnana Purnaya Sugyana Datre Namaste Guru Sri Raghavendra Sri Raghavendra Sri Raghavendra Pahimam Guru. We say with that, and with this I think I will conclude this session with the Shanti Pata. If anything is there, we can discuss, or I can go to Shanti Pata. So I will go to Shanti Pata. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Krishna Namastu.